So what is up, guys? I'm Penny. This is...
I'm Bridget.
And we are the hosts of The Trending Table, a podcast where we talk about pretty much whatever the fuck we want. Trending topics, current events, stuff that's hot in the news.
Stuff that people don't really want to talk about.
Yes, exactly. But we are sick, and so we do.
We are sick as in sick as hell. Fun. We're fun.
Sick nasty.
Sick nasty.
Sick nasty. But yeah, so what's on the table today?
Today, I think the trending table is something that has been trending for years. So, and I think that people still are talking about it and also will continue to talk about it. We are in the age of information, meaning we have this time period where not only the internet came about, but also all these different outlets of information coming through globally. So like here in America, I can be getting my news from, England, which I do, some of it. So really what we want to talk about is this concept of misinformation, this concept of fake news.
Versus real news.
Versus mainstream real news, or like very popular apps like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. Telegram's a big one. It's getting up there, Mm-hmm. So I feel like a lot is happening, right? But it's up to each individual to really decide what they choose to believe. Because yes, a lot is happening, but what is actually true and what is actually not true?
Right. And what sits well with you and what doesn't sit well with you on a personal level. Because there are arguments to everything. Like every side has a perfectly legitimate argument, right? That's why there's people on either side. So it's like really what sits well with you, staying true to what you believe in, not belittling other people who don't believe in the same thing, and setting your personality and yourself up to be able to converse without getting so overly emotional and upset, because that is just annoying for a lot of people, and it leads you to like setting, like you're fighting with friends, you're fighting with family, like, so it affects your personal life as well.
Right. So it's creating this divide and creating this disconnection between human beings over information that we really can't personally prove to be true. Like a lot of it. I mean, I'm sure there's individual cases where people can prove their evidence or what they're saying to be true, maybe, right? But like for the majority, like me personally, I can't prove to you and give you facts and evidence 100% authentic that what I believe is true and why. So it's like basically a huge thing that's happening within our society, within the whole world right now. And like it was really good for us to be able to get all of this information, but now we have so much that we're having trouble discerning, and we're having trouble adapting, and we're having trouble opening ourselves up to new perspectives, and also letting go of old beliefs, and also
sorting through the information.
Right. Exactly. Processing it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I know you said something, we were talking earlier about the picture you saw on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I saw this picture on Twitter of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, like back in the day. And Michelle Obama, it was like a photoshopped picture of her face where she looked like a man. But it looked totally believable. The only reason why I thought maybe this wasn't true was because I had seen this picture like a couple of years ago. And so I looked more into it. I was like reading the comment section, and there was like this little link that showed you what the original photo looked like. Mm-hmm. So like Twitter is like fact checking for you, right, much like Facebook does. But Facebook is like, they pretty much will just get you off they take you off their site if you know.
Yes. So I saw that same picture before, and this was years ago, right? And I saw this picture that led with another picture and another picture with a 10-minute video, pretty much just like proving that Michelle Obama was actually a man. And by the end of the video, I definitely was sold on the idea, because like, well, this is the information I'm getting, this is the proof they're giving, and it's like, holy shit, that could be true, right? And I started believing it. But obviously now I've learned a lot since then, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
I don't care. Yeah. But this is an example.
But it's just the point of like, you could see one thing and I don't know. Like what if I didn't see that picture before?
Right.
That's like, so it's just like kind of dangerous.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why.
And who's putting out the information? We don't know.
Nope. Or what their agenda is. Right, exactly. On a really high level scale to a really low individual scale. I don't know this person's motives. I don't know this person's intentions. I don't know this person's agenda, or like, what are they getting out of giving this information? I don't know that.
Is it a person or is it a group?
Right. Is it a robot?
Probably a robot.
Yeah.
Literally, though.
I know. Literally. But like, that's the issue here, is we're being flooded with so much information that some people don't even know which way is up or down anymore. But also, so it's like we have this option, like, go and seek all of your information on your own, which I love that choice. Like, I am all about choice, and I love to be able to make that choice. Or we have, mainstream, where it's like all the same. You're going to get the same no matter what. And it's this is the truth, the only truth, and nothing but the truth. And nothing else is real, right? It's like, okay, what? How? How is one, it's so polar opposite, and it's caused so much confusion and so much division. And like, what I've learned from my personal experience, like learning to use my discernment, my intuition, not overloading myself with too much crazy information. And, also just like, it's a choice. Like, what do I want to believe? Pretty much.
Right.
Which is better, which is which makes me feel better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's important to note, is like how we feel when we're digesting this information. What sits well with me and my values and my morals? Because we're building ourselves up as individuals. Like, I'm not the same person I was yesterday. Probably because of the media that I've consumed,
Right.
Like, probably.
Yes.
And like the shit that I've had to sort through.
Right.
And like the conversations that I've had with people. But the thing is like, we get to choose as adults. And I mean, it's harder as children, but it's important cultivating a safe environment for children to be able to grow and blossom into their own individual beings, rather than, a lot of parents, they just mold their kids into what they want them to be. And then growing up, they have a lot of
guilt.
Well, identity issues.
I
have identity issues too. Like, I feel like I just am constantly, I don't trust my own thoughts and feelings. Well, I do now, but like a couple years ago, I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, for a long time, I didn't. And I was doing what everyone wanted me to do, and it was making me extremely unhappy. But like, the second you start rocking to the beat of your own drum and becoming solidified in your belief system, you really can make an impact on the world. And until then, you're just like a sheep.
Exactly. Following, right? Because the question is, why would the news media, like the channels on the regular TV, the news media, the main ones, like Fox News, NBC, whatever all of them are, why would they not be telling us the truth, right? Like, that's the mind-blowing question. But it's like, you have to ask it. Like, they possibly could not be telling you the truth. That's
well,
when
if everyone was telling the truth, it's impossible because the stories are so polar opposite.
Exactly.
That not everyone's telling the truth.
No, not everyone. Right.
And probably no one is telling the truth because they probably, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't even think the people who know. No. Right. Correct. I don't think the people who know, because I think that they try to know and they try, but there's just, it's too much to control at once.
Absolutely. And I think that's the problem we're seeing is with all of this information, misinformation, it is no longer under anyone's main control. Like not one entity has that control. They've lost it. And it's literally individually thing. Like I can individually go and choose what outlet I want to see and hear from. And it could be the complete opposite of the other one. But like I'm choosing that reality. I'm choosing to put my attention there. I'm choosing to digest that information. That's my individual reality. So like everyone has that capability. Is everyone using that? No. Some people are choosing to continue to watch mainstream, and that is what their truth is, and that is their reality they're living in. But the problem is there's so many people that are no longer following that, and now we have this huge breakaway of like simultaneously having different realities sitting next to each other, which is like, what? You know?
Yeah. I mean, most of the media I consume probably is mainstream media, you know? Okay. But like, see, that's the thing though, is like, I pretty much like the topic that like I was most interested in currently was how the US dollar is going to shit. And I was like, well, why is this, you know? And the Middle East, the oil is now being traded with the yuan rather than the US dollar. So it's really affecting the US dollar. What's my point? TikTok? No. What were you saying?
I was saying that we're all living in our individual realities. You said you listen to mainstream media.
Oh, yeah. I listen to mainstream media. Okay, so that's like a fact, right? Like there's no like denying that like that is traded from one currency to the next. Okay. So that's kind of the stuff that I'm interested in because the other stuff, I mean, I love talking about it, but when it I guess I'm just like, I don't know what's true and what's not true, which is why that's why we're having this conversation. It's very much easier to digest information that is like, this is a number than like, is the COVID vaccine hurting or helping people?
That's like, a big one. That's a big one that really, really had a huge impact on the whole world, you know, and it also had a huge impact on dividing not only people in families, friends, the internet,
coworkers, bosses,
and I chose at the time not to get the vaccine. But you know, what did you do?
I got 2 of them.
Right.
And like, I mean, I'm good right now, and I got them, and you're good right now, and you didn't get them. But some people like weren't good, you know, and some people still aren't good, but like they don't know why. Yeah, so we can like fight till we're blue in the face of like this is good or this is bad, when like the reality is like people are dying, all like no matter what, from both probably, right, from both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, shit, I don't know. I know that at the time I got COVID originally when it first started rolling out. I got a sickness. I claimed maybe it was COVID. All right, my body built up natural immunity to it. And so therefore, when the vaccine started rolling out, I was like, well, I don't really need that. Like I already, you know, I got it. I healed from it. My body knows how to fight it next time. That was my logic. That was my intuition. So I just said, you know, I'll just wait it out. I don't need this vaccine. But what happened is I was being treated like, I mean, not just me, but like the whole world. If you didn't get the vaccine, you were selfish. If you didn't get the vaccine, you were, you know, you didn't give a shit about other people and you were a piece of shit. That's literally what I was being told and like what I felt. And like,
and then you were also getting left out Because people were scared that you were like a walking cootie.
Exactly. Yes, like my friends, So,
My friends,
but like I had
friends.
this
I'm just kidding.
I had this understanding, like a higher perspective of like, okay, well, that's what they're being told. It's a lot of fear behind it. They're terrified for their lives and their safety. And they're also that they don't know what else, So I had this understanding that that's okay,
Mhm.
if that's how people want to look at it. But I just really thought my body was fighting the infection on its own. So I just chose to follow what was inside and what was right for me. But it's fine now. It's calmed down a lot, but at the time that was really rough, being on the other side of things, where what I believe to be true. So it's like goes back to this misinformation thing, or information. Like some people were getting the information of like that people who didn't get vaccines were selfish and that they should, but then others were getting the information of like they shouldn't get the vaccine. So that's just a huge, huge, big thing that happened recently that you can look at. And it's like, okay, where is this a huge problem? And how can we come to a middle ground? And I think we're starting to get there by having conversations like this and like making it okay and also
Owning
respecting other people's decisions.
Right. And owning your own.
Right.
Because like a lot of times, like, and not changing your perspective too. And like, unless that's something that it's okay to change your mind. That's one,
Right.
it's definitely okay to change your mind. Anyone who thinks it's not okay is delusional.
Yes.
But you just really like once you're confident in it, you just roll with it and like you start attracting people, more friends, like people want to talk to you, you're like welcoming. It's like there's no walls around you. But like for such a long time, especially like with the polarity, like people were deleting their Facebooks because they couldn't handle like the political conversations. Like they weren't talking to certain family members, Right. And like some people, it's like they just want to avoid it and they just were okay with cutting those people off, And like for me, I'm not,
Right.
Like that's not me. Like I love everyone pretty much. So it was really important for me to look inward and have an acceptance for other people and a respect for their beliefs. Right. Because the respect, I think, gets lost.
Absolutely. And for me to deny somebody's beliefs or deny somebody's opinion or their reality, why would that make it okay for me to do that? Like I don't know, I know that I don't know, and that's like the best place I can be because I can hold my perspective, I can hold my opinions and my beliefs. But like for you, I have no idea. But like I have respect for those, and like I hope that we can have more conversations without our emotions being attached to them, because I really think that living here on planet Earth, we are supposed to live that out, like express ourselves, our opinions, our perspectives, our beliefs, and also like having someone sit next to you with the complete opposite, but having respect, And like another big one, that's recently was trending, and like a lot of people were talking about it. Me and Alex were talking about it before. Kanye West, like the whole thing that happened with Kanye, like half the world thinks he is a lunatic, he's a mental patient, he's a piece of shit, and he deserves to be locked away. The information I was getting is
that's the information I was getting, to be clear.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
yeah.
What were you getting?
The information that I've gotten on Kanye was that he was pretty much getting loud and expressing himself about the powers that be, or the people that own him, or the people that own the music industry. He was like dropping information about them and like leaking information, and like and so he was discredited and he was labeled as crazy or a lunatic or whatever. So I mean, I don't know either, like I can't prove that, but that's just the information that I got, and that's the perspective that I saw. So it's just so funny how it's like polar opposite. It is.
It really is. And it's like you don't even have the opportunity to see what I see. Because you'll just, unless you have my phone.
Right. Exactly, right.
Like literally, it will never happen.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, unless I purposely chose to like go and look up where you're looking up or seeing what you're seeing, like mainstream, then I could get that information. Like, it's just, yeah, I feel like, I like the fact that we have different outlets of information and that you can have a personal choice and you can choose to go look where you want to look and choose to see all that. So I do like that, but it can be very confusing and also, but like I said, we should just make sure it's not like causing a conflict with somebody we love because at the end of the day, I can't prove that, and neither can you. So why does it matter, right? It doesn't fucking matter.
Right. Well, what matters is like, what you were talking about earlier. You were like, a lot of people don't even have time to be looking at.
Right.
If this is true, they don't have time to discern and research and go down the rabbit holes like we have, right?
Right.
But, so they're focusing on what truly matters then, in a way. Or they're ignoring doing any research and are just angry and convicted.
Well, they don't have the time.
Right.
You're right. They're just whatever. I don't care. Why would they care?
Working kids.
Right. Exactly. Why would they care? But I've had a lot of time, so that could be a reason why I've chosen to seek out other sources of information. Because I did have the time, and I do have the time, and something I enjoy. I like to go through it all, but it can be dangerous. It can. So, but it also, I've taken like a huge break from it for the last year of like really the overload of information and going within and really discerning and finding out what I believe to be true. And like at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter. Like my relationships, it doesn't affect my personal relationships or my family relationships. And
but for a lot of people, it does.
It does. Yeah. I think maybe because they haven't taken the time to like go within and go without that information for a little bit and like I don't know.
They either don't have the time or don't care to take the time.
Exactly.
So,
right. One
or the other. Another topic that we were talking about earlier was cell phone bans in schools. There's a lot of talk about banning smartphones in schools. Bridget has 2 kids, so I was interested in hearing what she had to say about how she felt about cell phones in schools. A lot of people say it's like distracting.
I mean, I think that they're useful for like older kids to communicate with like ride situations or getting off the bus. As far as using it in school, I don't really see a purpose. So I think it should be up to the individual teacher, whether they have their phone in class or not. I don't think banning them altogether is like a solution. And I also don't think that, that it would really, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't think that it would be you think it would, okay, so you were saying that Brooke puts hers in her locker.
Yeah, so I know that when she gets to school, she puts her phone in her locker. So I don't think she has it throughout the day, but it's useful when she gets out of school onto the bus. She's able to communicate with me or whoever else she wants to talk to on the bus. But say she wasn't allowed to bring her phone to school, she wouldn't have that opportunity to communicate with me. So I don't really see the point of banning it altogether. I think that maybe banning them in class would be a solution.
Like locking them up in the locker. Because like, how do you even prove that they're in the lockers? Like I was always like texting underneath my shirt.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like in my hoodie.
Exactly. And I think it's like one of those things that is out of our hands. and out of our control.
Mm-hmm. But some people are saying that them wanting to ban cell phones is not only because they think it's a distraction, but because they want to control and monitor the content that the children and the kids are consuming, because what they're learning in their history book about World War II is like the US perspective, and then or like the Vietnam War even. And then you can look online and see a completely different agenda. And I think that maybe that scares people. I don't know for sure. This is like coming up in my brain. There's no like.
Well, I mean, yeah, that also brings us back to the same topic we were talking about, is like the reality that you are living in and that you're teaching your kids, and also the information we're getting and consuming on a daily basis. It's all over the place on the internet. I mean, it's a huge place. So maybe that could be a possibility, but I think it's like a way bigger problem that, like I said, any individual entity could get control over. The internet is like too big, you know?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because say you ban phones. Okay. They go home. They get their phone.
Right.
We give them, the parents, it's up to the parents if I want to give my child.
That.
Exactly. And they're going to have access to that information regardless. So,
well, I was thinking with the cell phones, like, say they banned cell phones in schools because of the distraction thing. And then there's like an emergency school shooting situation and every kid has their phone in their locker. Like, then what?
Right.
It's up to like just the teacher.
Right. Are we living back in the old days?
Yeah. What do you do? Like, I that feels unsafe.
Absolutely.
In this day and age.
Right. And also our children are very attached to their phones. So in a way that would make them feel unsafe, I think. That they would feel very far away from any safety whatsoever if they didn't have their phones, especially in an emergency situation like that. And that, I think, is something we need to accept as a society to move forward. Like, cell phones, technology are a part of our children's lives, our small children too. And like, let's be honest, like I have a 7-year-old and her life is wouldn't say consumed all day, but like there's a huge chunk of it that she, uses her technology, her iPad. I mean, that's just the reality that we're living in.
And anyone who is ignorant to that just doesn't have their eyes open. Right.
Right.
Well, and some people, it's like they choose to not, and like that's like their like subculture or whatever, like their ideals.
Right.
But the majority of people, I would say, children have technology.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
It's rare to not.
Yeah, it is. It is very rare. So, I would say that if the schools decided to ban the phones, obviously I wouldn't fight it. I think that since I send my kids to public schools, I give that authority over for that period of time, for them to make the best decision for them.
That's terrifying.
Isn't it? It is. It is. It's terrifying, really, but it's also like, okay, am I going to homeschool? There's the other option. So I have to, I would have to trust that they know the children and they know what's best for now.
It just went down.
What about TikTok? Banning TikTok.
Okay, so I saw that some government agencies, I think that they banned TikTok on government phones. So like I have a friend who's like a social worker or like a caseworker, so she has like a work phone that it's like an iPhone, but she can't download TikTok on it. Like it just straight up like won't show up anymore. I am interested in what you think the reason behind that is.
I mean, I think that TikTok is also another phenomenon that's happened in America. It is an outlet that I have learned so much. So many things that I would have never learned anywhere else, I learned on TikTok. And it's also a place where you can express yourself freely. You can be exactly who you want to be and also connect with others who are living in that same perspective or reality, and also see a bunch of different other realities. So I think it is so incredibly important to not ban TikTok. And if you're not like on TikTok, then you don't know what I'm talking about. Like, say, because it's a whole nother reality in itself. But I think for my personal like level of consciousness and level of learning and level of awareness, TikTok has been a tool in every single area of my life. I mean, if I want to know anything, I'll go to TikTok. I mean, and some people are like that, but some people, they never get on TikTok. You know, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. It's like, you know, so I don't know why they would be banning it. I don't think that there is a like legitimate reason why they should. I think it's bigger than anything that we really can understand, and also a secret, because they're gonna tell us the real reason they want to ban it. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but I do think it's an attack on our freedom in America, and also our like sovereignty. Like, taking TikTok away would be just
like censorship.
Why? Yes, censorship. Yeah, in a way, censoring us and closing off a line of communication with individuals who have found that freedom in it, you know?
Because are you talking about like how on Facebook, if you like say certain words and stuff, like they'll like undermine your content and stuff, and TikTok is more of a platform where you can like be free?
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. You don't get, I mean, in a way it's still controlled, because you can still get censored, you can still get deleted, you can still be hidden on the algorithm on TikTok,
like shadow ban.
Yeah, shadow ban for certain things. But you can express way more than Facebook. I mean, Facebook is you really, there's just one thing going on Facebook, one perspective, you know. So and Facebook's more like a social thing with your family and friends and stuff, I think. And TikTok's more of like an expansion of the collective, like sharing their beliefs and their perspectives and like their lives and different realities. And it's also opened me up to seeing like, holy shit, like you don't have to go to college and like work for the rest of your life. Like, look at all these people who have created their own reality and they're like playing it out. And it's like, wow, I don't think that the powers that be want us to see that.
Right.
They want us to stick with the system.
Right.
You know?
I've thought about that as well.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's why they want to like ban TikTok, and like now you have to pay for like the blue check mark on Twitter and Instagram and whatever. Right. Something about TikTok. Oh. How TikTok is a Chinese owned company, I think. Yeah. So all their servers and all of that and our information is owned by their company. Yeah. So I think that if I had to speculate, I feel like the powers that be in our neck of the woods are very afraid of that and don't want any data breaches on the government phones, for example. Right. So they had to ban it there. And I think even Montana or like some state banned TikTok. Really? Statewide. Don't quote me on that. That could be fake news. Right? Like literally could be fake news. Case in point. But you can look into that, more into that, and we can talk more about that because I don't know. But I think because of the US currency thing, how oil is now traded with Chinese currency, not the US dollar, there's something going on. Other countries are in cahoots, perhaps, that we're not cool with. Right. This is what makes sense in my head and like what the motivations could be. Because I literally have no idea. Bridget's so anxious.
I guess so.
Here, take this.
What's this?
It's just a fidget toy that I've been playing with.
I'm bleeding over here.
Do you want a Band-Aid? I'll get you a Band-Aid. Okay.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think a solution could be that, like, everyone just leave everyone the fuck alone. No.
Yeah.
For
Let
real,
people
though.
be who they
Yes.
are.
Yes.
And who they want to be and who they will be and who they were.
Everyone here is looking for a sense of freedom, right? Freedom to express, freedom to love, freedom to be, freedom to live, freedom of time.
Freedom to have fun and dance like an idiot without getting made fun of.
Absolutely. And like banning things and like censoring people and like attacking people for their beliefs and their opinions and their perspectives is just like hurtful, causes more of a divide than a connection. And we're all just trying to like find freedom, connection, and love. And like, I think that the more internal work we do, the less information we're taking in on the external world, the more discernment that will develop, and also more of a neutrality type of perspective to other people's beliefs and stuff like that.
I feel bad that you're hurting yourself.
No, I just picked off a thing and went and
okay.
it started bleeding. It was already like a one that was like just sitting on top. Yeah. Put a Band-Aid on.
Good to go.
Yeah. This was good.
This was good. Could you guys hear us?
Who is on?
I have no idea. It doesn't tell me on the screen.
Oh, it doesn't? That's odd. I hope they heard us.
I think they did. But we're gonna be clipping this content, posting it on socials. If you guys can, like, give us a like and a follow. It would help us a lot. If you guys want to see certain content, like us talk about certain topics, let us know. Reach out to us. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fucking great week. Later.